Hello, fellow rollers of the dice, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Holy Rollerz, the D&D show about the Hallowed Council, leaders of an interfaith alliance dedicated to protecting the world of Ienia from devils, demons, unseelie fae, and anteaters, should those become a problem. And we will attend to them. So we want to welcome JT back, who is back and is functioning with one ear, and that's dedication. So we are very grateful to have him joining us tonight with his one functional ear. How you doing?
Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thanks for holding down the fort, everybody.
Yeah, well, it's kind of. We'll see how you did.
We get back in. On the ground the whole time. That's cool.
Hey, sometimes people fall unconscious, get played with by a butler. Things happen. Anyway, moving on. So in honor of Halloween and happy October to everyone, we are going to be giving away 20 copies of Wonders of the Witch for 5th edition D&D during the week of Halloween, or World of the Witch for 4th edition D&D Halloween, whichever PDF you would like. To enter, all you're going to have to do is most likely watch an episode of Holy Rollerz and comment on our website. So we will put that up on Twitter soon. Follow me. I am at Sage of Sorcery 1 for details on that giveaway, which will probably be popping up tomorrow. So be looking at that. It's a great book. It's 122 pages or 25 or 140 pages of a new character class and new spells, new abilities, 4 different builds. New monsters, 6 sample covens. It is a treasure trove of witchy goodness. So we're looking forward to that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into introductions, starting with Jerry. JT.
Hello, everybody. I'm JT, and I'm back. Good to be here. Anyways, I play Enduriel. He is the vampire cleric of Naylock, the god of night, vengeance, and brooding.
Do we have a god of brooding? We should.
We do now.
We do now. All right. I'm adding that to his portfolio.
I'm Ryan. I play Lachlan Dulay, the bard paladin of Sindel, the goddess of love and justice and beauty and horrible facial punishments.
We're getting a lot of good ads today.
Okay. Jeff.
Hi, I play Gizik, the god of witchcraft and runes.
You're not a god? You don't get... What the heck, man?
Wow.
Sorry.
Did he level up when I was gone? He leveled up?
A few times.
The heck, man? JT adds one thing to his god's portfolio and suddenly Gizik's like, well, if he can add something, so can I. Okay, let's start that over, Jeffrey. Let's start that over with a little perspective.
All right, not quite a god yet, I guess. Sorry. Then in that case, I guess I will continue following the goddess Sigrund, who is the goddess of hags and runes and all of that great stuff.
Cool.
And hey guys, I'm Ben. I play Morokhan. He has a godly bod and follows the god of light and the sun and burning.
Okay. The god of burning things, which is great for an 8-year-old in the magnifying glass. That's Morokhan. Okay, very good. All right, our introductions are going strangely, so let's jump into the recap. Last time on Holy Rollerz, the party had stopped off for the night at the Wandering Dragon Inn on their journey to find the Knight of Hell hiding in Horta City. Shortly after arriving, the priests were attacked by a trio of assassins from the Trident Society, a band of killers operating out of the city-state of Aquanosha, far to the north. Their battle was interrupted by the Knights of St. Bethania and their captain, Sir Ulrich Silbar. After the Trident Society attempted to goad the paladins into killing an unconscious Enduriel with holy water, a 3-way brawl began between the knights, the assassins, and the Hallowed Council. In the course of the battle, Gizik incapacitated a knight and an assassin with a series of deadly spells, including a lust spell, which everyone enjoyed a little bit too much. Morokhan pummeled another assassin into submission with a barrage of vicious unarmed attacks, and Lachlan took a savage beating from a Black Dragonborn assassin. 2 assassins were captured, but 1 sea elf water elementalist managed to escape. Proving both their holy powers and their honorable intentions in battle, Lachlan successfully argued that the only way Gizik and Enduriel would be rehabilitated from their monstrous nature was in the service of the Divine Fellowship, and the paladins left them to his and Morokhan's custody. And so we pick up right there at the aftermath of the battle. The Knights of St. Bethania have just left, and we are looking now at Anduriel on the floor. Anduriel, you come to consciousness shortly after, or just in time to see some plate-mailed figures tromping up the stairs, and everybody is kind of just standing there with bated breath. So anyway, there you go.
Okay. Well, Anduriel, I mean, I'm going to kind of look around, and the bar looks different than when I came in. So he's just going to kind of sit up and, like, oh my goodness, what in the name of shadows happened?
Okay. Demora comes over to you all and kind of walks over and looks at you, and she says, "Are you all right? You look all right. You're healing. Are you all right?"
I'll be all right in a few moments. I think the worst is past.
Okay, Anduriel, you lift up your hand, and something is not all right. You get a little Back to the Future moment. Your hand is translucent, and other parts of you are looking translucent as well.
Oh, that's not good. I feel like I should roll something to understand this a little bit more.
Well, first things first, let's make a Constitution check. That's half your level and your Constitution modifier, if any. You need at least a 13.
Oh, I don't have a Constitution modifier.
Well, that's a booger.
That's a natural 20, my friends.
All righty, good start to the night. Okay, Anduriel, you concentrate for a minute and your form becomes a little bit more corporeal, although it is quite obvious to Lachlan, Morokhan, Demora, and Gizik, who are standing around you, that you were kind of fading out of reality almost, or at least becoming insubstantial. And you suddenly remember what happens to a red cap that doesn't have enough blood covering himself. You did lose a startling amount of blood when you got staked and knocked on the floor and stabbed and whatnot.
Okay.
All right. Demora looks at you, and she doesn't seem like she's got the mettle of what your standard adventurer might have. And so the look that she gives you is like a little panic. She looks like she's not quite sure what to do. And she goes, "Is that normal? Do you do that often?"
Of course it's not normal. Come on.
Do I know what it is?
What?
Do I know what's wrong with him?
Make a knowledge nature check.
Nothing has to be wrong with me.
Or a knowledge arcana check. That one would be a little bit higher.
The way
I feel like I should have an idea what's going on.
I got a 23 knowledge nature.
Okay, you know about red caps as well, and you know that Anturiel is becoming a red cap over time.
Morokhan's kind of freaking out at this and is like trying to feel him, that he's there.
Stop it. Stop it, dragon.
What are you doing?
No, stop it.
We need
What's
to make
everyone
sure
looking
that-
at?
Are you even real?
Yes, I
Telepathically, I want to say just to Anduriel, do you need a drink?
Anduriel will reply, yes, I think I do. And it could get messy, actually. It's more than a drink. I think I might need to do some accessorizing. But not here, not now. We need to get out of this place. We need to get out of here. I'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So,
Just through the mind link, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it just to him because I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to advertise his situation.
all right.
I say, well, let's. Is there a side room, Matt?
Well, there are a ton of side rooms, but Demora looks up and she says, perhaps maybe we should go outside and be on our way. And then Jean-Pierre, the brewmaster, comes from around the bar, flips up the side of the bar with his golden dragon barreled shotgun that he has, or his arquebus as it's called. And he says, au contraire, mademoiselle, you will be staying the night and paying for every room of the guests that you chased out of here. Giselle, they are ordering the family feast for 12. Stoke up your fire again. And people start crawling out from behind and under tables. And there was a whole bunch of people that went behind the bar and the grill that they have. Like 15 people come out from behind there. And a lot of them are like, I better get home to the missus. And they like run up the stairs and run up. A few people sit back down, but you do see that you have managed to clear the room, shall we say. So Lachlan, he walks up to you and he looks up at you and at Moroccan and he says, the family feast, and you will be renting out all 20 rooms, no? I assume you have the gold.
We'll pay tomorrow.
I'll lean over to Lachlan and just be like, I am a little hungry.
We'll take your family feast. What's the cost of a room for the night?
Okay. He says, well, if you take all 20 rooms.
No, per room, just one room. How much is it per room?
The tax involved, the destruction of one of my tables. I'm sure the paint is scuffed on the stairs that elf ran up. Looking at least 3 gold per room, 60 gold pieces, 70 with the feast.
Are there are those assassins still in the room with the soldiers?
No, the Knights of St. Bethania took them with them.
Oh, dang it!
The two that were captured.
I was going to try to pick their pockets and make them pay for as much as they can.
Well, that would have been lovely, but they have been apprehended by the authorities. So he says, the 70 gold, pay up.
Well, I'm curious why you think that we should pay that when we were the ones who were assaulted in your establishment. You let members, Aqua Notion assassins in your establishment attack your guests?
Okay.
That's not going to look very good, now is it?
All right. He points at Anduriel with his gun, or his arquebus, and he goes, you brought that creature into my inn?
Did he do anything? Did he do anything until he was...
He beats a woman! Were you not there?
Were you not there when you saw that woman is also an assassin?
To my eyes, she was only defending herself. You owe me. Okay, he's or am I to assume that all of you, what are you, priests? Am I to assume that all of you priests do not pay your bills? That you come in and wreak havoc all over an inn and an establishment? Giselle, make a note of this. The priests come in and they ruin everything, but they do not pay.
Oh, so you're not chasing after the captain. He's the one who came in and ruined everything.
He said, the captain is the one who arrested the killers. Surprised he did not arrest you and your monsters.
I don't think we need to be here. I think I'll make sure that when we get our audience with the Tri-Lord, that we make sure that he and everybody we talk to from here to the capital know about the kind of riffraff you let in here and the unkind hospitality you have for anybody who doesn't look and act like you.
Make an intimidate check, please.
26. I'm so charismatic.
Yeah. Oh, you bards, you with your high social skills. All right, so you say that, and he's like,
That's right. We do have an appointment with the Tri-Lord.
Make a bluff check, please.
Oh, even better. 29.
Okay. Well, with his mighty 4, he's like, you have an appointment with Tri-Lord Bertrand? And
Wouldn't you know it?
how do you all know the Tri-Lord?
we're meeting him. We've just come from Winter Run after having been visited by Lady Marie, and now we are headed to meet with the Trilord. We might not look like your typical guests, but we're a lot more important than you give us credit for.
All right. He noticeably fidgets. He looks at his nails, looks around the room. He says, well, perhaps I overestimated the damage a little bit. Perhaps it is only fair to charge you for half of the rooms and the guests, since you only did half of the damage. Why don't we say 35 gold and we part as friends?
I'm going to turn. Look, do you all want to stay here?
No, we don't need to be friends. We can go.
All right.
What time of day is it?
What's that?
Weren't we like travel weary?
Yeah,
Weary?
yeah, you're pretty tired. It was around
It's like dusk now, isn't it?
No, it was around 9 o'clock, 9 or 8
Okay.
o'clock, I want to say. So, I mean, you're approaching probably 10, a little bit later. If you travel, I mean, you could go like rest out in the wilderness, but if you travel on through the night, you're going to be making endurance checks or facing the next day minus a few healing surges.
We can go sleep under a tree.
Some of us weren't raised in the woods by a hag.
Okay. Demora steps in and she starts pulling off her red backpack, and she flips off the top of it, lifts her hand up in front of it, and a coin purse leaps into her hand, and she starts opening it. And she starts fiddling with her money, and she says, the faith of man will be happy to compensate you for the damage that was done here, with our most sincere apologies for your lost business. And hopefully we can stay the night in a nice cushioned bed and just rest and maybe put all of this business behind us. 35 gold, was it, you said? Okay, and he says, yeah, 35 would be sufficient for us to part as friends, I'm sure. And so she says, 35 gold it is. And she counts out a number of platinum pieces, and he raises an eyebrow as she pulls out some platinum, like, dang, cha-chang. And then she pulls out a few extra. She says, well, it looks like I only have change here for 40. So if you'll accept 4 platinum pieces. And she just kind of drops them into his hand. And she says, now I think if we could get that feast and then bed. And she closes up her coin purse, puts the backpack on, and says, and I think another bottle of wine, since whoever leaped on the table last kicked the wine off of the bar.
And Duriel and I are going to go check the rooms. We'll be back for the feast in a moment.
What rooms are you intending to check?
Just any of the rooms, or the rooms that she's now purchased for us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You guys are going to go upstairs and check the rooms?
Well, I'm not really going to go check the rooms. I'm gonna let him have a drink.
I'm going to stay downstairs. I'll tell the innkeep to show that there is no ill will.
I've still got 8 surges. I'm pretty sure I can sacrifice a couple of surges to top off our vampire friend.
Okay.
Oh,
all right. There are 10 rooms up at the top on the first part. Then you have to go down a hallway, and then there are 10 more rooms on the other side of the inn. So you can easily find one. There are several rooms that you can easily find, but the innkeeper is going to hand you a set of keys on your way up there. And he's like, this will open all of the rooms on the southern side of the inn. You can sleep in any room that you wish.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Great.
I'd say that's generous of him, but I think we're paying for it, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to make anybody make an appraise check, but that's an outrageous price for one night at an inn. I mean, this is a very nice inn, but it's not like top tier. A top tier inn would charge you maybe 2 gold, and he's I mean, he's obviously very upset, but he's charged. He's making a pretty penny. So
We'll bill it to the faith of men. They've
Exactly.
got some.
Put it on our tab.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they want to pay, I'm not going to complain.
okay. Well, she did. Okay, so you can head up to an empty room, and then what?
And then I just offer Anduriel my wrist and say,
Had to make it weird.
It,
I don't know where that came from. I'm
it
like,
already is weird.
No.
yeah.
I just offer my wrist and say, know what you got to do. You got to get under control here.
At least I don't have to drink from that mole on your face. Okay.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh,
He's a little
Oh.
grumpy. He's a little grumpy.
He's
And you have to help, but you do. He yanks his arm back and says, "But you do have to help me with him. We gotta fix this thing. We gotta get Gizik somehow to his inner beauty. I don't know. We gotta fix him somehow."
Yes, Lachlan, as soon as I stop fading from existence, we can take a look at your skin condition, okay? So he's gonna take his arm, and he's not gonna go full vampire and like chomp into it.
Mhm.
Takes out the kukri, and just sort of makes a neat little cut, and then collects some of the blood into his hands. He's gonna drink some, and then he kind of shudders a little bit. It's like, and he starts smearing it onto his person.
Okay. Anduriel, please make an endurance check, DC 15.
That is an 18 on the dice.
Okay. It is very difficult for you to only take one surge out of him worth. You are very tempted to keep feeding on him, but you do manage to pull away. Are you going to try to hide that?
No, it's too much to. It's too much.
Okay, Lachlan, make an insight check, please. You only need a 12.
Well, 26 should do then.
All right. Look, you're on fire tonight. All right, Lachlan,
Damn.
as he drains on you, his grip on your arm tightens and he gets this kind of feral look in his eye. And he appears to momentarily lose control, and you feel a surge of adrenaline. You're like, oh my gosh, vampire feeding on me. But then Anduriel manages to get control of himself in kind of a snap, and he pulls away.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like a frat boy right next to him, just like chug, 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 chug.
Quiet, Gizik, quiet.
Yeah. There's a frat boy next to him going, chug, chug. What is that on his face? No, that's not. Okay. So
Morokhan's trying to smooth things over with the innkeeper downstairs while this is going on. He's going to request someone to start playing music. He's going to start singing very loudly and requesting as much wine as possible to help liven up the place.
Okay. It's a pretty somber crowd here after the fisticuffs that just took place. However, one half of the crowd, I mean, it didn't go on that long, but there were knights involved and authority, and so it's uncomfortable. But after about a half an hour of people drinking, and once food starts coming out again, people are sitting down, and the half of the guests, or 3/4 of the guests who stayed, seem to be content to go back to drinking and eating and kind of just general. The looks kind of go on for the rest of the night. There are a few people who walk up to you, Morokhan, and who pat you on the back and are like, well, if somebody filled up my drink, it'd probably go a long way towards making us feel better. And then they kind of look at you with a mischievous grin. Not anything, unpleasant. They're just kind of teasing you.
Right.
But they're not walking away.
But he's not, and he's not quite smart enough to catch on to what he's meaning. He's like, that's true. It would probably make you happier. Innkeeper brings him over to tell him to fill up their tankards for him.
All right. So you tell them, and it goes, hey, a round on the dragon. Thank you, noble dragonborn. Okay. And they clink their glasses and walk away. And Demora, who's still at the bar and eating and drinking, looks up at you, Morocon, and she's like, I hope you don't think I'm paying for that.
I flip a gold piece onto the counter.
Okay, which is an exorbitant amount that you would do for a glass of wine.
Oh no, this is I'm paying around for a bunch of people. Like,
okay,
I'm not,
all right. So
I need this place to be happy. I'll shout out. You want this to be the Happy Dragon Inn? Well, let this Happy Dragon show you how it's done.
Okay. Well, and if you're filling up drinks, everyone raises their glass. Like, you know, he's the best dragon I've ever had. He's my favorite dragon. You know, like it. Anyway, people in their cups. Everybody has a good night. The mood does seem to lighten up as Moroccan does that. Is there anything anything anybody else would like to do before heading to bed for the evening?
I would like to read some poetry to Gizik.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll head to bed. You can read the poetry down here.
Okay. Are you reading him poetry at the table? Or just set the scene for me. I mean, do you like him?
While he eats, I want to try to give him some culture. So
you have a book of Vogon poetry there?
He's got a bajillion poems memorized. He's telling you, you know, the sonnets of Lady Catherine and all these different things that he's got memorized. But he's trying to get Gizik to appreciate something. It's like, I might not be able to improve his face, but I can improve his mind.
He puts on a beret and pulls out a bass and just starts going.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do to see how successful you are at this. I would like you to make a performance check, and Jeff is going to tell us what he thinks the DC should be for you finding some poetry that would engage Lachlan or Gizik.
I would say Gizik's a lot more educated in magic and nature, maybe not so much culture. Yeah, so say 15 or 20.
All right, 15 or 20. There's a big gamut in there. All right, we'll split the middle.
Let's do a 17.
All right,
doesn't matter. I got a 23. I got a plus 12 to that.
All right, so he manages to come up with some poem that Gizik finds amusing and elicits perhaps a giggle.
I'm not trying to entertain. I'm trying to soothe the savage beast.
Ah. Well, you find something that appeals to him, nevertheless.
Yeah, I'm sitting there just slapping the table and...
Okay.
You know, kind of in time.
Alrighty. All right. So, anything else anybody else wants to do before bedtime? Anybody want to bite anybody else or whisper sweet nothings? And I mean, I don't want to stop.
Opted to stay in the room instead of going back down to the bar. So he's calling it a night.
Okay.
Moroccan is just feasting.
Okay. Well, you ordered the family feast, so she's cooking up a storm. I mean, there's pork, and there's a pork and a chicken, and you know, all kinds of vegetables. She does fried potatoes, seasons them really. I mean, and you keep eating, and she's like, "Oh boy," and she's like, I mean, she'll feed you full, you know, but she keeps cooking as you keep downing things. All right, so moving on ahead. Later on that evening, Anduriel, there is a knock on your door.
Do I hear it?
Do you hear the knock?
Yeah.
Well, it's faint. Are you sleeping?
I mean, I just had ear surgery.
Okay. Wow, a lot happened on that barroom floor.
No, I'm not sleeping. I'm just kind of like zenning out a little bit, brooding. So
Okay.
Yes, I hear the knock on the door.
So roll the D20 and add your give a crap boost.
Okay. There is a light knock at your door, Anduriel, about 4 or 5 times.
Still a little cranky. Who is it?
It's Demora. I just wanted to speak with you and see how you were doing.
Can it wait till tomorrow?
If you like. I don't mean to bother you. I'm a trained healer, and I thought perhaps you might want me to look at your wounds.
Nobody in this group ever means to bother me, but here we are. Fine. Fine. He walks over to the door and he opens it. Come in.
Okay. You open the door, and she kind of just pushes the door open a little bit more before she walks in. And
Is Anduriel just wearing a towel?
yeah, no,
He's like, hey.
Okay. And she takes out her whistle and says, I will blow this. Okay. She sits down next to you, in the chair that's next to the bed, if you're sitting on the bed or whatever. And she says, May I inspect your wound?
Yeah, be my guest. You're here, you may as well.
Okay. So she looks at your wound, and it's pretty much closed over at this point. And she takes her hand, and she just kind of drags her hand down the, bloody gaping hole that you had near your sternum. And she says, my goodness, that's remarkable. She says, you really do regenerate, don't you?
Apparently.
Okay. She said, she looks like she's fumbling, like searching for words. She says, I was quite frightened, and it surprised me when I watched that stake go over you, into you. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel that I perhaps owe you an apology for thinking of you as less than a person due to your nature.
I was also worried when that stake went into me. So that makes two of us. As far as your apology goes, unnecessary. You're not the first person to think of me as a monster. You won't be the last.
And she says, I understand, but well, let's just say that I've been on the receiving end of it. Witches are not welcome in the Adari Republic of all nations. We're not welcome in many civilized places. It's why my people have been driven into the wilderness so frequently. But in my defense, you are the first vampire I've ever befriended. It even feels strange to say it, vampire. I'm friends with a vampire. It's not who you are. I understand. It's just something that you are. I'm not just a witch. But in any case, I felt it warranted a word of apology.
I appreciate that, but I will say that we are not friends. I appreciate what you've done for me and for my friends, but you and I don't know enough about you. There's too much. I'm a suspicious person. So
I can see that.
We are on the same side for now, and perhaps we will be friends. But thank you.
Fair enough. She stands up and she turns around and she starts walking for the door. She says, well, I can see that your wounds don't need any particular tending from me, given how quickly you've managed to heal. And she says, just before she leaves, she pauses and says, have you ever considered just ending it? I mean, I don't know if you consider vampirism is usually thought of as a curse. Have you ever just considered being done?
No. I suppose I'm too selfish for that. I'd like to say that I've used my gift, my curse, to help people, but really, it's granted me a measure of power, and it's granted me a measure of being able to hunt and to do things that I wouldn't otherwise normally do. So I've never thought of ending it. let me ask you a question.
Certainly.
You're a powerful witch. I can tell that. What do you care about all this? What do you care about helping us, about the faith of man? Why not just go and do your own thing where you won't have to worry about cleaning up the messes of people like Lady Waffle Fries?
I guess it's because I just don't think that people should have to live in fear. I don't think people should have to bow and adulate and scrape for the approval of beings who they don't even see or know. I think it's a dishonest way of living, I guess I would say. I want people to be happy. I think people can be happy. I've seen it. I've seen it in communities, and it seems to me if we cared about one another rather than just some invisible beings that we don't see, that, well, people perhaps would take care of one another more. And really, that's what the faith of man is all about. We're healers. We're all about helping people care for themselves and caring for one another. And I suppose from your perspective, sometimes that means ending a life. I won't deny that that does seem tempting, depending upon the person you encounter, but overall, that's why I do what I do.
I can respect that. I would say one other thing, that we're all servants to some god, whether it's a god that exists that we can't see or whether it's a god of our own making. It's what we choose to do. It's how we choose to serve that god that I think helps define how we treat other people. But that's probably a discussion for another time.
I enjoy speaking with you. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. Have a pleasant evening, Enduriel.
You as well, thank you.
And she walks out and closes the door.
Before she leaves the room, Morokon's going to come around the corner with 2 wine bottles and just be like, "Hey, Enduriel!
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll
Does he have a lampshade on his head too?
Sorry, I'll didn't mean to intrude. This is for you. And I'll set it down on the floor in the room. And are you whole? Are you good?
All right.
Are you fading? Or I'll just go.
Okay.
I'll just go.
Thank you for your thoughtfulness, Dragon. I'm doing fine.
Okay. All right. So she picks up the bottle of wine and smiles at Moralcon, and she says, "Thank you. This will be a welcome close to the evening." And then she heads down to whatever room looks open, and she closes the door.
Moralcon says, "I bet it will."
That's not. So, yeah, she took the whole bottle. She didn't even bat an eyelash, too. So, clearly, somebody has an appreciation for the finer things. All right.
I'll look back at Enduriel and just be like,
Good night, Dragon.
Yeah, it is. And he turns around and goes to bed.
Okay. So, Moralcon, everyone goes to bed, and Moralcon, you wake up standing in the streets of a city again. And as you look skyward, you are able to see that giant flying red snake with the white wings circling overhead. And it's casting kind of a shadow or a red light over the city that kind of pulses as it circles. And then all of a sudden, that giant red serpent with white wings explodes into a cloud of smaller, tinier serpents with white wings. They descend and they fly all throughout the city, kind of like a plague of locusts moving through the buildings and in between the areas of the city. And you see those individual smaller serpents wrap themselves around the necks of some people. Some of them burrow their way into their bodies and wrap themselves around the hearts of other people. Some of them wrap the feet and trip other people. It's just kind of a gruesome scene. And they're all over the city. And the feeling that comes off of them is a terrible, terrible oppression. But you also hear this awful hissing, and it builds as more of these serpents wrap themselves around people, and builds until you can't stand it. And you cover your ears just to prevent the madness of the sound. And then you move your head to the left, and you see that black wolf that you saw in your dream the last time. It growls at you, and then it skitters away so fast that you almost can't see where it's going.
Can I move?
You absolutely can.
I run after it.
All right. So you run after it, Morocon, and there is a shaft of sunlight that pierces through that red glow, and it illuminates your path toward being able to follow the wolf. And as you follow it, you come upon this great, enormous pit of darkness. And you stop because you're about to fall. The wolf jumps headlong into the pit of darkness. And as you look around the edges of the pit, you see other people are following the wolf, and they just kind of fall into the pit and just go careening down into it until they're lost in the darkness. And that is when a very sad piping music begins to fill the air around you. It's kind of like the song that you heard previously in your dream, but the music is so sad that as you listen to it, it just breaks your heart. You feel this incredible, overwhelming sense of mourning. And then the hissing sound gets louder and louder and louder, and you snap awake.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like you, Morocon, to make, if you would please, make a, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's make a wisdom check, please. You need at least a 15, half your level, and your wisdom modifier.
my wisdom of nothing. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Half of nothing.
Okay. So it's a 19.
Okay. So you wake up flailing in your bed, Morocon, and you grab hold of the side of the nightstand with your claws, and you start like ripping it like to shreds, and you're about to blow fire, and then you stop and you're like, oh, maybe that would be bad. You come and you remember who you are, and you hear a rooster crow with the dawn.
Am I rested though, or am I?
You are rested. Yeah, you feel rested, but you also kind of wake up with the sound of that hissing in your ear. The mournful feeling of that music stays with you, and it just kind of makes it difficult. I mean, it's kind of that feeling that lingers in a dream that you just have a hard time shaking off.
Okay. Well, the last time I had a dream like this and saw that wolf, there were some people around like doing some horrible things. I'm gonna burst out and try to find the group, make sure they're okay.
Okay. Well, you're the first one up, and nobody else's door is open. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
You're at least the first one in the hall.
All right. Well, I know where Anduriel is, so I'm gonna go see if I can sneak into his room or open his door or something, if I can listen carefully and see if he's all right.
Okay, make a listen check.
So,
Or a perception check, excuse me.
Yeah. 8.
Okay. So
what does the wood sound like? Speak to me, door.
You hear the sound of cooking pots and pans banging downstairs, and then the smell of bacon wafts up the hallway.
Oh, that smells so good. No, everyone needs to be okay. I'm just going to open up his door and
okay.
Poke my head in and see if everything's cool.
Anduriel Morocon opens up your door, and the flood of the torchlight in the hall, or the lanterns in the hallway, floods your room with light.
And Duriel's already kind of awake, but he's like reading. He's sort of just being contemplative. And so when the dragon bursts through the door, whoa, Gizik, Gizik, what? No, what are you? Dragon, what are you doing? He's kind of shielding his light from his eyes from the light. Lachlan, Gizik, what do you want?
Are you whole? Are you okay? Do you hear that hissing sound?
No, all I hear is a dragon storming into my bedroom at whatever time in the morning this is. You remember that time that I was invisible like a few hours ago? It takes a bit to recover from that dragon. What do you need?
I'm going to tell him about the dream that I had, and the dream that I had at the headquarters, and just tell him, like, look, there's some shenanigans happening, and I keep having the same vision.
Yes, we should definitely go find the others.
Okay, Lachlan, you are awakened by the sound of Anduriel's door being thrown up and Morocon's booming voice going, I had a dream that one day serpents are like his voice kind of like booming down the hallway with this, obtuse, I don't know how loud my voice is, dragonbornness. and Gizik Morocon wakes you up too. And it's just after dawn. It might be 6 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. Had plenty of time to sleep, but
yeah, I don't want to get up yet.
Okay.
Well, forgive my intrusion, but the last time this happened, y'all were you were all kind of in fits, and I had to we had to punch a black cloud to death. So
the last time, what happened? The last time you had a bad dream?
The last time I had this dream, we all had to end up punching a black cloud and some guy with a fiddle to death.
That was the cloud that turned into your mom, Gizik.
Yeah, but I was also having a bad dream that time, not just you.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This is some really bad communication happening right now, but he's trying his best to make sure that everything's cool, and everything seems to be cool. So,
okay, Gizik, as he opens your door, the smell of bacon and sausage wafts into your room.
I don't care.
Okay. Okay.
No.
It's a joke there.
Okay. So Gizik pulls grumpy teenager. Lachlan, I'm sure it's way too early for you. I don't know.
Yeah. Although he's trying to act more responsible. He probably yeah. I'll get up and go listen to Morocon's rant.
Okay. So Morocon woke you up, and Lachlan, you get up and you wake up. There's no sound coming from Demora's room. Just door's still closed, but everybody else seems to be awake, and Morocon is, booming. And the door opens down the hallway, and out comes a woman in a maid's outfit. She's got just a very simple brown dress and a white apron on, the tie around your neck kind, and little wisps of gray hair coming out. And she comes out with a duster, and she just kind of looks like she's getting herself ready. And she goes, "Oh my, you guys are all up early this morning, aren't you?"
Yes, we are.
And Duriel's going to look pointedly at Gizik. Some of us.
Okay. Oh, your friend's not awake yet. Do you need some strong coffee? Shall I have Giselle brew some coffee and bring it up?
That'd be great. In the meantime, I say telepathically to Morocon, can we continue this conversation mentally so we don't wake up the entire inn?
He'll look out a window and just see how the sun is just barely cresting over the horizon. And just, I suppose, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So you guys are having this little confab, and then about 10 minutes, into getting everybody up. Moralcon, do you tell them the details of the first stream? Do you lay it all out for them, or what?
Oh yeah, I want to make sure that they understand that this is why I woke them up at the crack of dawn. Like the last time that this happened, we were fighting a fae and some nightmare fiend back in Winterrun.
I want to see if there's anything I know about I don't know, icons of Hamina or dream symbolism or something. If he's had a recurring dream, and because I know enough about Hamina to know that she's the goddess of like travelers and guidance and whatnot.
So recurring dreams are kind of a thing with Hamina.
Okay, make a knowledge religion check, all of you. Well, the three of you who are there. I'm assuming this confab is taking place in Anduriel's room, given that he didn't invite you in.
23.
A religion check?
Knowledge religion. Well, yeah, religion.
Okay.
Did you say this was the psychic conversation?
Are you forcing Gizik to have this conversation while he's
gosh, that would be hilarious. He's trying to sleep and he's like, no. No.
Gizik, this is your conscience.
Fine, I rolled an 8.
24.
Okay.
18. Hooray for a high religion skill.
All right, so here's what you know. Dreams are very, very significant to the outer gods in particular. Dreams are, a very common way of accessing the astral plane, but they're special to the outer god because when the outer gods first emerged in Ienia about 500 years ago, or in that neighborhood of, they began calling their first clerics by using dreams. And their dreams were driving people mad because no one knew how to interpret them. So they kind of backed off until they were able to get people to respond to their dreams. And then those people began to, perform clerical power, works of miracles, works of astral power and whatnot. And so, dreams are very significant to the outer gods themselves. Hamina, however, is not the goddess of dreams. There's a demigod of dreams, and his name is Nombulus, and he's actually an exarch of Vahara. So if your dreams are tangible, then Nombulus might be involved. There's also a goddess of nightmares, and her name is Shykraz. And she is one of the demon gods. Chaotic, doesn't cooperate. She's like Lolth, but in the dream world or whatnot. So, however, Moralcon is certainly not out of the realm of the ordinary for him to be receiving some kind of dreams, having some kind of vision in them. In terms of the exact symbolism of his dreams, snakes are often associated with devils, and particularly with the hells. But the black wolf and the piping music, you think the piping music might refer to the archfey the Piper, the one who Anduriel has an unwitting pact with. But as to who or what the black wolf is, you really don't have much of an idea at all.
But that nightmare fiend took the form of that black wolf, though, right?
That is true. Yep.
So Moralcon, being the literal guy that he is, was thinking that black wolf has come back, or there's another one.
Possible.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So that's what you know. Any other comments or suggestions or things you'd like to do?
Well, Moralcon's going to go eat.
Okay. So
Yeah.
As you guys are kind of just sitting here pondering this discussion, Moralcon, have you ever shared the fact that you can see into the future with them?
No, I have not.
Okay. So Moralcon's having
share with them that's how I was called as a cleric was through dreams.
But you haven't told them yet, right?
I have not.
Okay. Not that you have to. So while you guys are having this discussion, the older woman with the gray hair and the white apron comes up. She sets up a tray on kind of just a stand, a little wooden stand. She puts a pot of very hot coffee on top of it, sets out a little dish of cream and a little dish of sugar. And Lachlan, she looks at you and she says, well, here's your coffee, sweetheart. And she says, your friend still isn't awake? And then she looks at you and she goes, you know, you might try talking to him. Get to know him. Find out what is important to him. Then maybe he'll do what you want. And she walks down the stairs.
Did anybody else hear that, or was it just Lachlan?
No, you all saw her.
I think Anduriel and Morocon look at Lachlan like,
I'll take the whole pot and a couple of cups and go into Gizik's room.
Okay.
Get
Gizik.
your own, boys.
Okay. So Lachlan takes the pot of coffee and any other pot he might have. And Gizik, he comes into your room, and light from the hallway and then the window at the end of the hall floods into the room, floods into the hallway, and there's light everywhere. It's kind of hard to be asleep, not to mention the fact that he's talking in your head.
So, Gizik, would you like a drink?
What time is it?
It's tomorrow. I don't know. There was a screaming dragonborn waking up the whole world. So,
Is the sun even up yet?
oh, it's up. Yeah.
I don't believe you. It's still way too early to be awake. Everybody, just go back to bed.
So, but I brought you a little something here to drink because I wanted to see what's going on with you.
I'm sleeping.
Fine. I sit up and I reach out and I take the coffee and just kind of tip back and dump the whole thing in my mouth all at once and swallow.
It's
feel
really
the burn.
It's really hot, Gizik, and you burn your mouth.
I'm half ogre though, so.
Well, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're used to being burned, so
It's not like I'm a troll.
okay. All right, Gizik, you burn yourself. You take 2 points of fire damage, like the lady at McDonald's.
I think she took way more than 2 points.
I agree. Well, she must have rolled higher. So Gizik takes 2 points of fire damage. You see a welt appearing on the side of his face, and he just keeps burning himself with the coffee.
You could let it cool, my friend. But as you wish. So you don't seem to like your goddess all that much. So I'm just wondering why you stay with us. What is it what is your role here in this this endeavor? Do you even want to be here?
Well, I may not like her much, but we kind of have an arrangement, and I think I'm in a better place than I would be without her.
But what is it you want?
Well, I don't like what I've seen the Faith of Man doing. I'd like to stop them. And, I don't really care what they believe, but they've been causing a lot of problems for me, so. Plus, you guys are okay.
But what do you want to do when it's over? When we stop whatever happens with the Faith of Man or Navariel?
When it's all over and we stop everybody and everything's a little bit more back to normal, I'll probably keep going around trying to collect magical artifacts, gather power, that kind of stuff.
Rolcon, you hear a terrible hissing in your ears again briefly. It just flares up and gives you a brief headache. And then it kind of slowly dies down.
At this point, yeah. I think Morocon and Enduriel are down at the common area, right? Seating.
Yeah, we didn't follow Lachlan.
Yeah, there aren't very many people down there. It's still pretty early in the morning. There are about 2 or 3 people seated at the bar, and Giselle is cooking up a storm, sausage, potatoes. She's making eggs. She has a pot of oatmeal on to boil. But so Gizik says he wants to get more power and acquire magic items.
Yeah, basically, you either have the power or somebody else controls you.
Do you think that you feel that way because you were powerless with your mother?
Maybe.
Well, you know that you aren't alone anymore, though, right?
Yeah, I'm beginning to realize that.
I just don't want you to. I don't want the fellowship to be a stepping stone for something greater for you. I want you to be in it and part of it for the duration. You have world experience that nobody else in our group has.
Well, what about you? Don't you want to go back to the stage when this is over?
No. I'll probably die in doing this at some point.
Oh, that's a good point. We could all die. We may not even... our future plans may not even matter. We could die tomorrow.
True. Although we do have a cleric of the god of death with us. That's
Yeah, we could always try being vampires. That might work out.
Does he mean it? He means it, doesn't he? He's like, hey.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it's not the worst deal. You're still alive. You're that much stronger. Being a vampire doesn't seem that bad. Vampire, witch, hag, god, whatever. It's all good.
Whoa, it's a killer trifecta.
Yeah. Well, good talk.
Okay, Demora walks by the door and she goes, "Oh, you're up already. Well, one of you's up." And she says, "I'm starving. What say we get a good breakfast and then head out, get on the road?"
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. She heads down. She has that very simple but fine materialed white dress on, or at least one like it. And then she pulls on her little red knapsack and marches down there. And you all feast on a lovely breakfast. And as you sit down to eat, Andriel, do you sit down at the bar also?
No. Anduriel is trying to be conspicuous after the last evening's activities, so he's going to just find a table away from as much people as possible.
Okay. All right. So you come down the stairs, Anduriel, and there are only 3 people in the room, and Giselle and the brewmaster who are getting things ready. But you come down and Giselle is chopping things, and she drops her fork, and she's like, "Oh, the fork." And the brewmaster picks up his gun and just kind of puts it on the table and starts, polishing the dragon head at the end of his arquebus, like, "Oh, I feel the need of a gun," and puts it up there. And
Anduriel is just gonna dramatically look at them and then roll his eyes and shake his head.
Okay. So The brewmaster looks at you and he says, so I assume you will want to be getting an early start, no? On your way very soon, no?
The sooner the better.
He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to Lachlan.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so, from the corner, Andrew, the sooner the better. Okay. All right, he goes, yes, and an early start. Can I get your horses? And Demora says, no, that won't be necessary. And he says, you will walk? It's a long road to Horta. You're headed to the city or to Winterrun, perhaps? And she says, we're headed to Horta. But I wish you a speedy journey. If you are walking, the sooner you hit the road, the better, no? Yes. Well, get you on your way. Get you fed. Good. Get out. Oh. So, and then he goes back to kind of just polishing glasses, getting everything set up and whatnot. More people start wandering in, and you are finished and then off on your way. Demora summons those horses again with that phantom steed ritual spell, and you guys get going on your way. And after, just a few more hours, probably about 6 more hours in the saddle, you catch sight of the city of Horta. And the first thing that you see as you come upon the city is that the western side of it, or rather, excuse me, the northern side of the city, the side that's facing Aquanosha and the northern mountains and the area up there, is framed by this absolutely enormous wall that has been built up. And it's larger than the rest of the wall around the city on that side. And it seems like it's more fortified and whatnot. And that up on a hill, in just barely visible on the side or somewhere near that huge wall, is a fortress that can be seen from any part of the city. And it's enormous. It has 2 towers above it that are kind of just sticking out. And it looks like it's made of solid marble. And it's magnificent to look at, but it's also extremely foreboding. And Demora looks and she says, well, I suppose we need to decide what gate we're going in. Have you all ever been to Horta before?
Has that hissing sound left my ears yet?
Yeah, it was just momentary. It flared briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if I've been to Horta before.
Anduriel, you have been to Horta before because you live in the Republic, but the rest of them, Gizik has not been to Horta. Gizik hasn't been many places, period. Moralcon, you've never been to Horta before.
But
Lachlan,
have I seen it?
But have you seen Horta? It looks terribly familiar to you.
Okie dokie.
You recognize the fortress. You recognize that enormous wall on the northern side of it. You even recognize some of the buildings that you see in the distance.
He's going to tense up a little bit and just be like, I've never been here before, but I feel like I have.
Okay. She says, well, there are several areas that we might go through. We can go through the Bulwark or the Shield District, or we can go through the Coins District. There are 3 entrances to the city. Do you have a preference?
Where would you find the Heart Seekers?
The Heart Seekers are they are in that first entrance, which is the Bulwark District. The Bulwark District. The Heart Seekers are stationed in the Abbey of Ardor, Ardor, the Abbey of Ardor, and that is at the northernmost point. Or I guess it would be, that's the northernmost point of the Bulwark District, past and beyond that huge fortress. They have an abbey up there, and that's where the Paladins of Sindel train. So that's where their chapter house is.
Given how we were treated at the inn and pretty much anywhere in this republic, I would maybe think the Coins District would probably be the least harassing.
You might be right, but the Coins District would also be the most populated and crowded. So if we're trying to avoid undue attention, perhaps a different way.
Oh, we could try the fisherman's way.
The Fisherman's Way has no entrance. There are only
I
three
see
gates.
a lot of docks over that way in the shipping
You do.
district. We could go in the shipping district.
All right. So Demora looks at you at Gizik and she says, You mean to swim? And then she looks up at Moral Khan and is like, is he serious?
Well, I'm not carrying I'm not carrying bags of gold, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Let's go to the Abbey of Ardor, and then we can at least some people who will be friendly to one of us, and hopefully they'll be a little more tolerant than the typical Besterans of all of us.
Okay. So she looks at you, Lachlan, Demora, and she says, you have friends at the Abbey of Ardor?
Drew, kind of out of the side of his mouth, tells,
Oh no, JT is frozen.
Oh no, we lost him.
Did we lose him or did he just freeze?
He done locked up.
He did. Is he under us? Oh, there we go. I think he's back. JT, can you hear us? And
yeah, what's up?
Okay, there we go. All right. You cut out for a second, Broseph. Or are you just messing? Are you messing with us?
Okay.
I think you might be messing with it. That's
No,
okay.
I would never.
Oh, geez, you're
No, sorry, my internet was unstable.
Okay, well. All right, so it's Ryan. Anyway, all right, moving on.
So Anduriel whispered out of the corner of his mouth, and we didn't hear what he said.
Yeah. So Demora says I'm sorry, what was it that Anduriel said? We didn't hear it, bud.
Oh, no, it was fine. He was just going to whisper to Gizik, and he hopes that somebody at the Abbey could help him with that thing on his face.
Okay. Do you say it loud enough for Lachlan to hear, or?
I hope so. I would have.
Well, yes, you would have. And
well, I got a 26 on my perception check. I heard
okay.
it.
Okay.
Well, Morikon didn't hear it, but he's going to say out loud, "Are you sure they'll accept you with that?"
Anduriel's not much for. Yeah.
Oh, we are having a JT internet issue.
I just cock an eyebrow at Anduriel and say just to him telepathically, not to anybody else. Hey, people in glass houses, brother.
Oh dear. Well, apparently JT is highly offended. And
okay, well, Anduriel is now stuffed into the bag of holding, and we'll carry him into the city with us.
All right, I am re-inviting him, and let's see if that works. Oh.
Sorry.
How you doing there, bud?
Sorry.
All right. Well, we'll see how it works because you're delayed here, so we'll give you a chance. Okay. So Demora turns to you, Lachlan, anyway, as she was going to speak to you, and she says, well, if you're heading towards the Abbey of Ardor, then the Bulwark is probably your best bet. She said, I'm going to split up and head to the Coins District. She says, the Faith of Man's embassy is in the Windy Quarter, and I need to check in with my fellows and get some information. I also need to let them know about our arrangement. So shall I meet you at the Abbey of Ardor or some other place?
Sure.
Where shall we reconvene?
Come find us. We'll be at the Abbey.
Very well. Give me perhaps the day to get settled and communicate with my fellows and speak with the chairman, and then I will be up tomorrow morning. Is that amenable?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. She turns her horse, and then she looks back over her shoulder, and she says, please be careful. I don't know how much time you may have spent here, but there are dark forces at work in the city. Have a care. I know you trust that your gods will protect you, but wisdom is the order of the day as well. And then she turns and she kicks her horse and takes off back down the tradeway towards the Coins District, towards the entrance, the gate of the Coins District. So you guys enter in at the tradeway.
Our horses disappear when she rides off.
No.
Oh.
No.
Cool.
In fact, she'll tell you the horses will last for another 2 hours before they're going to disappear. You're looking at an 8-hour duration, and you've been riding for about 6.
Okay.
So she tells you the horses may last for another hour and, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And then she'll skedaddle off on that horse. Good question. So you go in through the bulwark. There is an enormous gate that is kind of the entrance to the bulwark sector of the city. I'll bring it up here just so that anybody who is watching, if they want to see it, that's what it looks like. They're heading into through that big wall. And you can see that the road leads you right past a road that would take you up the hill to the fortress. You get a good look at it. And you can also see a chapel of Bestera in the distance. There is a chapel of Bestera in every one of these. If you want to know anything else about the city, other than that, you'll have to make a history check to see if you know or want to know.
I would sure like to do that.
Well, you'll have to ask me something specific. What do you want to know if your character has heard or knows?
Well, I want to know. Can I just do the basic tour's guide Google search of Horta?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. You can make a general check, and I'll give you.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So
that's a. I'm sorry. What was that? Did you roll?
I know that Horta is a town.
What did you get?
I rolled a 6.
Okay. Great. All right. So you know that Horta is a city. You know it's a port. You know that the temple here is called the Halls of Protection. It is an enormous temple to Bestera that's only overshadowed by the fortress, but that's about all you know. Anybody else want to know anything before you head in?
At the moment.
Okay. All right. So you guys start heading down the street, and Lachlan, you've never been here before, right? All right. So you're going to have to stop and ask for some directions to find the Abbey of Ardor.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make a streetwise check and see.
23.
Okay, so you stop and ask directions from someone who looks friendly, and you identify somebody who's friendly. A gentleman gives you directions to the Abbey, tells you need to follow the trade highway all the way up to the northernmost part of the district, and he tells you that you'll recognize the Abbey by its red stained glass windows. They have stained glass windows with roses that are absolutely beautiful, and he says that when they strike, the dawn, the light of the sun hits them, they cast rose-colored shadows onto the grounds, and it's just an absolutely stunning feat. He says, if you've never seen it before, you're in for a treat. So you all start heading on your way, and about an hour, into your little walk here, as you start moving through the city, before you get to the Abbey, your horses begin to shimmer, and you can feel the enchantment is fading, and you were able to get off well before. I mean, they don't just go poof, boom, although that would be fun.
Make a dexterity check.
Yeah. So your horses fade, and as they fade, you guys are left standing in the middle of the street on square about 12L. And you look around, and you didn't notice it before, but now you've noticed that there's been a gentle rain. There are some puddles around you. Also, this street has a number of potholes. Somebody needs to do some repair work here because the street has not been well maintained. So those little squiggles that you see over the squares are potholes. The blue are the puddles that are left over from the rain that happened before you got here.
So UDOT maintains Horta, huh?
Apparently, and not well. So you guys start your horses just go poof, and that draws a few looks from people who are like, oh, like their horses vanish. So there are some people, there are a fair number of people just kind of walking around, and three gentlemen in white robes standing around the dais walk towards you. One of them looks to be in his early 30s. They're all three of them are human. One of them looks to be in his early 20s, and the other one looks to be in his 40s. Little graying with a beard. So the gentleman in his 30s walks up to you and he says, "Whoa, greetings, strangers, and blessings of the Hope Maiden be upon you. I don't believe we've seen you your like within the city." And he takes a look at Gizik, and he takes a look at Morokon, and he goes, "So, what business brings you to the city of protection?"
I'll look to the voice.
Lachlan says, "We're headed to the Abbey of Ardor. Are we headed in the right direction, sir?"
Okay, the 20-year-old looks at you and he goes, "Oh, are you looking for a cure?" And then he looks at your mole. Then he tries to look away, and he blushes a little bit. And
Yes.
And he looks back and he's like, if you're looking for a cure, you can always head to the Chapel of Bestera. I mean, the halls of protection have some of the most powerful healers in the Republic.
The medicine I need is more likely to be found among my brethren.
Okay. The 20-year-old looks at you all and looks at Morokon, and he says, "What business brings you to the Abbey of Ardor and Sindel's folk?"
Oh, we accompany the lad here. He has an issue that you've noticed that needs to be tended to.
Okay, the 20-year-old blushes just, 3 shades of crimson. You get a look at these guys. They all have the symbol of Bestera on them. The 40-year-old, you can't really see him because he's standing behind the other two. The 30-year-old human, he says, "Well, have you heard the joyful news?"
No, we've just arrived.
"Well, we have joyful news. We'd love to spread the good news while you're here. Bestera has raised a new exarch, a new demigod, a saint. He is known as the High One. He is the patron saint of righteous pride, pride in a productive life, and pride in a job well done. So good news was brought to us by the High Protector of the temple himself, through his second, of course."
Who's his second?
Brother Altivez was one of his very first clerics. Now that the High Protector is getting on in years, it won't be too much longer before he joins Bestera. But that's all right, because Brother Altivez is doing the good work and serving well in his stead. And I am sure that when the High Protector's time has come, that he will be welcomed into Bestera's eternal city with joy and with much, much accolade. But can I ask you a sincere question? Are you living for the day?
Living
All
for
of
the
you.
day.
Are you living for the day?
Oh boy.
Which day?
I live every day.
Eh? Yes, but the 20-year-old pipes in, and he's like, "Yes, but are you truly seizing the day? Are you making the most out of every day? Are you living for the day, or are you just living during the day?" My name is Brother Gerard, and this is Brother Fayette, and this right here is our friend, and his name is Brother Eric's. And we'd love to talk to you a little bit, if you're new to the city, about the Living for the Day program. Hope Master Certainty of the Bulwark Chapel has instituted a wonderful new program that is transforming lives for the better. I wasn't happy until I signed up for the program myself, and I know that you too can find that same happiness in learning to live for the day.
Well, we'd we'd be very interested to hear this after we get ourselves settled. But we are road weary and need of food and bath. After we, if you'd like to come find us at the Abbey of Ardor, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
And then mentally, I say to the party, say, these guys are as mad and nutty as the Faith of Man back in Winter Run.
Okay.
Yes,
He
but
says,
are you living
well,
for
if
the
you're-
day?
Is Gizik been thrown into a real corner? Like, am I living for the day? Oh, like, okay. So Brother Gerard, or excuse me, Brother Fayette, the older one with the dark black hair in his 30s, he says, well, I mean, surely you need not travel all the way to the Abbey of Ardor. There is a chapel of Bestera nearby where you can perhaps even meet Hope Master Certainty. And he can tell you a little bit. We can get you signed up with the Living for the Day program. Do any of you have any skills to share? A craftsman among you? Perhaps any professions that you have practiced before? We can get
I'm
you
a
signed
bard.
up. What's that?
I'm a bard.
Oh, you're a bard. That's excellent. Would you be willing to come sign up? I mean, I'm sure you could share your talents with a number of things. Perhaps you could even sing in the choir in chapel.
Perhaps, but I'm also a sworn paladin of Sindel.
Oh, that's all right. We have worshipers of Sindel that come to the chapel. I'm sure that wouldn't be but you want to share your talents, don't you? Don't you want to live for the day?
I do. We will, but part of living for the day for us means meeting up with my comrades at the Abbey of Ardor.
Okay. Yes, but you're coming to the Abbey for healing, you said. I mean, who better than a priest of Bestera to bring healing to you? They know the remove affliction ritual at the Chapel of Bestera, and it's closer.
Here's a skill we all share in common. We have the ability to walk away from annoying people on our way to the Abbey. Good day. And Enduro just starts walking away.
Okay, Moroccan, your ears are filled with hissing. And the brother who's standing behind them, and Duriel, as you walk past him, you get a good look at his tabard and at the holy symbol around his neck. On his tabard, over his white robe, is a picture of a tall gray tower that looks very familiar to you. The other two have the shield of Bestera on their chest, the gray shield with the blue stripes, the blue cross over it.
You did say the high one.
And he starts looking at you as you walk by, and he fairly snarls at you. And he whispers into the ears of the two clerics in front of him, and he says, brothers, it appears these churls think themselves above Bestera herself, with no need of her teaching or protection. Will you let them escape her protection? Moroccan, you don't hear a word of this.
Can I make an insight check as to like this? This is the third time today I've heard this hissing. Can I make it?
Not only that, you didn't hear a word he said, Moroccan. All you hear is hissing.
I'm trying to make out the source of the hissing.
Sure, go for it.
14.
You suspect that the hissing might be coming from people.
They've all been.
They're gassy. But it's a slow gas.
Okay. As Brother Eric's whispers into their ears, and it's less of a whisper and more of just egging them on. Brother Fayette and Brother Gerard, they stop and they kind of heft up their shields that they're carrying, and they look at you and Brother Fayette, he says, excuse me, but I think that you should probably accompany me back to the Chapel of Bestera and be registered. If you know what I mean. I think that would be best if we all just headed there.
I think it would be best that we be on our way to the Abbey.
I think that you should yield to the authority of the priests of Bestera, like a good man would do, or a good whatever you are.
We have a very important appointment that at the Abbey of Ardor, followed by a meeting with the Tri-Lord.
Okay. They seem to just be getting more and more pissed off, Lachlan, as you talk.
And we noticed this brother Eric's.
You heard him.
Okay. I want to say telepathically to him and only to him, say, you Navario loving cur, back off.
Okay. Make an intimidate check.
17.
Ugh.
I know.
Okay. You see a very brief like flicker of some kind of emotion cross his face, but he doesn't seem to be rattled.
Okay. I say also, I want to continue and say, if this escalates to violence, we will not kill them, but we will kill you.
Okay, he lifts his hands up to his chest and he clasps his holy symbol and starts whispering something.
Okay, I want to use Song of Discord on him.
Okay. What does that do?
It's gonna try and dominate him.
Okay.
Ooh.
Messy. Okay.
Do I need to roll initiative here?
Well,
I was gonna say,
you
if
can.
he's not, Anduriel's gonna just flat out attack, because whenever people start whispering and conjuring, he's like, nope. So.
Okay, you can go ahead and make an attack roll. It's not going to change what he's doing.
Okay, that's a 29 versus Will.
Okay, you got him. What do you do?
He's dominated till the end of my next turn.
Okay, so
And as an
you
effect-
cast Song of Discord, and what is?
As an effect, he makes a basic attack against himself. So I'm gonna have him deck himself.
Okay.
Actually,
he takes up his mace and no.
I want to have him bash one of the guys with him.
Good call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to have him hit Brother Fayette, the older 30s, or Brother Gerard in his 20s?
Are they armed the same way?
They are both armed the same way. They both carry shields and maces. Brother Eric's only carries a mace.
Let's smack Gerard around a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna have him attack Gerard.
Oh, that's a 19. That's a good solid hit. So we'll be rolling the 1d8 and dropping it on the floor and picking up another die 8 and dropping that one on the floor, and no, it's somewhere else. Woo, okay. 13 points of damage as he clocks Brother Gerard in the head. Poor Brother Gerard. What did he do but dedicate himself to his faith at the tender age of 20?
So I'm gonna have him repeat the attack on his turn with the dominated, but I say, what are you doing, Brother Eric's?
Okay. Please make a bluff check. I already rolled their insight checks.
That's a 28. I might have failed my insight check, but I'm a good bluffer.
All right. That was poor Brother Gerard. Excuse me. I marked that down. All right. So he clubs her to the head. They're both they look furious and they look angry. And then Brother Gerard goes, clop, oh, like holds the side of his head. And people stop on the street then and they look up and they're like, he attacked a priest. Like, whatever. And they're pointing to it. You get the idea. So all of this madness is going on. And Benjamin is telling me that we lost the Twitch feed. Well, it does not appear that we have lost it. So,
look, I've lost it on my end. Let me try.
What about the rest of you?
To me.
I think we're going. Okay.
That was weird.
Refresh your page. Okay, moving on. So,
sorry.
It is now initiative, my friends, as things get into a bit of a sticky wicket.
Is that hissing still blasting through my ears?
You only seem to hear it when Brother Eric's is speaking.
Okie dokie. Good to know.
23.
Lachlan gets a 23.
18.
And Duriel gets an 18.
And I got a 10.
Okay. Gizik gets a 10. Moralcon?
19. Thank goodness for a high initiative bonus.
Well, that lovely dexterity does come in handy. Okay, and now for the baddies. Brother Eric's. Ooh, Brother Eric's gets himself a 24.
Ugh.
It's okay, he's dominated.
And Brother Gerard and Brother Fayette get themselves a whopping 6. All right, it's Brother Eric's turn. What are you going to have him do?
The same thing. I'm going to have him... Actually, no, I'm going to have him bash Brother Fayette now.
Okay. Oh, geez. All right. Well, he rolled a 3, unfortunately. So he goes and swings at Brother Fayette, but he's just fighting. He's fighting you, and he's growling. And Moralcon, the growling comes out, and all you hear is hissing. And it's kind of painful, too. But in any case, he starts growling. He's like, and can't do anything. Lachlan, it's your turn.
Okay, can we talk positions on the map?
Yes, let's talk positions.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Brother Gerard is in square 15J. And Brother Fayette is in square L15. And Brother Eric's is in square 17K behind them.
You mean 16K?
No, I mean 17K. He's 1 square away from them. Oh, he moved in. You're right. He is in 16K. I'm a liar face. Since you dominated him, he had to move forward 1 square. Okay, Lachlan, you are kind of leading the group. So where are we putting you?
Probably 13K.
Okay, 13K, Lachlan. And Duriel, you started walking past them, so let's put you in 15N, yes?
Yep.
And Gizik and Moralcon, are you next to Lachlan or behind him?
I'm going to be behind him.
Okay, so you're in square 12K, Moralcon?
Yeah.
And Gizik, are you next to Moralcon or behind him?
Yeah, 12J.
All right, 12J, and that is Mr. Gizik. Okay. All right, it is your turn, Lachlan, as you guys stand in the very middle of the street, and Brother Eric's appears to be pummeling poor 20-year-old Brother Gerard with his mace. And people are shouting out, "The priests are fighting! They're fighting in the street!" Oh! And then, someone grabs a fainting couch. It's just all kinds of emotion.
All right, I want to use my Rift Boots to teleport to square K17.
Okay.
Which will leave Brother Eric's dazzled. So he's gonna take some penalties here. I gotta double check what dazzled means.
He's dazzled by your boots.
He's dazzled.
Pretty sure he's only dazzled if he's adjacent to you, my friend.
But I'm ending adjacent to him.
Okay.
Is it the
what does it say written, or does it not?
I just wrote down what I
Okay.
But I don't have a...
What happens when you use the boots is there is a flash where you stand, not where you end up.
Okay.
So you dazzle Gizik and Moralcon.
But it's enemies only.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to dazzle Gizik and Morocon.
All right. So Lachlan turns and spins dramatically on his heel, almost Linda Carter style, and poof, there's a flash, and then he shows up behind Brother Eric's.
And then I'm going to use Beguiling Oration. It's a burst 2, so I can hit all 3 of them, hopefully.
Okay.
It's versus Will. Let's go. Brother Gerard got a 28.
Hit.
Brother Fayette, 26.
Hit.
And Brother Eric, that's only a 20, a dirty 20.
That's a miss, unfortunately.
Okay, I want to use Adept's Insight to add a bonus to that. I really want to hit him.
Okay.
So I add a +5 to that. So it's a 20.
That'll do, Pig. You only need a 21. Okay, what does it do?
So they are each going to take 10 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
And they're going to make a melee-based attack against a creature of my choice. So Brother Gerard and Fayette are going to attack Brother Eric's. And Brother Eric's is going to attack Brother Gerard.
Oh, my. This is so terrible. Okay. 10 points of psychic damage to all of them, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, my goodness gracious. Okay, so they all take 10 points of psychic damage from, is it a song that you play? How does this manifest?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's actually a prayer.
Okay.
So he just starts praying, praying quietly, saying, Sindel, turn the enmity of these villains against one another, and they are overcome with they just can't help themselves. They turn and start bashing on each other. It's not in anger, it's in charm.
How loudly do you say the prayer?
Just under my breath.
Okay.
I don't want to draw too much attention.
All right.
And I'm sure it's loud enough that Eric's can hear me.
Okay. And they're both going to attack Brother Eric's. That's a 6 and an 11, which unfortunately 21. So 1 hit, 1 miss. 1d6 plus 8 with their mace. So 10 points of damage to Brother Eric's again, as Brother Fayette clocks him in the side on his arm with his mace. And unfortunately, the other one missed. So basically, to everybody who's here, it looks like the clerics of Bestera and the High One are all attacking each other. It's so horrible. It's just horrible.
So Brother Eric's attacks Gerard too.
Yes, Brother Eric's will now attack Gerard. It's a melee basic, right?
Right.
Okay, so he will swing his mace, and he will hit, and he will do an ugly amount of damage. Let's see here. 14 points of damage to poor Brother Gerard, who is just taking it. Poor Brother Gerard, who just took 10 points of psychic damage, is now going to take another 14 points. He doesn't look like he could take too many more hits like that. Poor young 20-year-old Brother Gerard. So clock, they're just bashing each other with maces. At that point, people start screaming from the side of the street. And an older woman yells out, she says, "Stop it! Stop it! You're priests of the Hope Maiden! Stop it! Someone run for the Just Blades!" And they begin more of that. And now...
And I want to say that. I want to say as well, yes, get help! They're possessed! The priests are possessed!
Morocon, it's your turn.
Oh yeah, he is really not happy with this this gray towered fella. So he's going to let's see. He's going to assume Fighting Fury stance, and he's going to. What square is Lachlan in again? He didn't move, right?
Lachlan is right behind Brother Eric's. He teleported.
Oh, right behind him?
17K.
Yes, he's in square 17K.
Okay. Alrighty. Then Moroccan is going to go right in the middle of everything. Go straight to K15.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna growl. He is really not happy. Just basically just silence you, snake, and he's going to book it straight to him. And
okay, before that happens, you take 2 attacks of opportunity from Brother Gerard and Brother Fayette. You moved through a square that they threatened. 1 miss. Well, I'm assuming. What is your AC, Moralcon?
18.
18. All right. They have a plus 10. Oh, no, that's an 18, unfortunately. 1. So that's 2 hits. So Moralcon, you get clubbed upside the head with 2 maces as you run between the clerics. Could be worse. 27 points of damage.
Jeez. Okay.
Excuse me.
Holy
That's
cow.
25. 25, not 27.
Mm.
So Moralcon goes, stop the hissing, and charges forward, and they just sandwich him with their maces like clock.
Ugh, okay. 25, you said?
25 points of damage.
Okay. So he is not happy about that. Okay.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah.
On the plus side, you'll probably be careful moving through threatened squares again.
Given the fact that he's got this hissing in his head that just needs to stop, he's going to take it, and he's going to, as he's sprinting forward and taking hits, he's going to duck down real low and just take a giant uppercut using Eagle Claw Strike.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay, Moralcon, you're not going to suffer any minuses right now to your attack, but as soon as you move adjacent to Brother Eric's, you feel your holy powers become weakened. You take a -2 to attacks when you are within his aura with your cleric powers. Lachlan, that goes for your paladin powers as well. Didn't matter, but
not
just
for
FYI.
this, but for going.
Nope, not for this. You're using a monk attack. This has no effect.
Right. Okay. Which is a.
You got combat advantage.
Oh, cool.
You're flanking, yeah.
+2.
So +2 to attack. Excellent.
Yep.
That is. Well, that brings it up to a 28.
That is a hit
Against Fortitude.
Pretty much everything for the next 3 levels.
Right. And that's going to be good roll. Not as good a roll. 6, 10. That is a 20 points of damage.
Okay.
And he has a -3 to AC.
Ooh. Okay. All right. So Moralcon, you feel weaker. A part of you feels weaker. You get clubbed, but you're like, stop the hissing. Bam. And you punch up. Lachlan, he stumbles back into you momentarily and rights himself at the power of the Dragonborn hit. It is nasty. And Duriel, my friend, it is your turn. Unless, Moralcon, you have something you would like to do with your minor action.
I've already used my minor for Fighting Fury stance.
Okay, Fighting Fury. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to mark that down so that I know that you have that, so I can remind you. Okay. Enduriel.
Enduriel finds all this fascinating. He doesn't really feel threatened at the moment, but he is going to, in the mind link with Lachlan, just ask, "What's wrong with the dragon?" And then I'm going to ready an action.
Okay.
I'm going to ready Blade of Nightmares if I get attacked, or Weapon of Divine Protection.
If somebody comes near you.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. Gizik, it's your turn, my friend. Moralcon, stop the hissing. Bam.
All right. So
Lachlan's teleporting. People are screaming around you. That woman is yelling at everybody. Stop it!
Ecstasy.
Yeah, so I'll bewitch. Is it Brother Eric's?
Brother Eric's is the one with the gray tower on his chest.
Right.
Yes.
13 versus will.
That, unfortunately, is not going to get his will.
Well, we'll try something else then. I'm gonna tell him, your friend LaFleur over there, he's not your friend. I know what he did, and you'll find out.
Okay.
And that's a 15 versus will.
That, unfortunately, is a miss.
I guess it fits my spectacular speech.
Okay, so Gizik casts a spell, and his voice takes on that weird tone when he's doing it. But they are kind of full. They look confused, but they also look like they're really just disgusted overall. Even they're all clubbing each other, and they're like, "Brother Eric's, what are you doing?" Getting clubbed in the head. It is their turn now, unless you want to move, Gizik.
No, I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay. Boy, you have put them in quite the position, Lachlan. All right, in his aura of blasphemy, he gets a +2 to attack you two. But the first thing he's going to do is channel divinity. So he grabs his holy symbol, the little amulet with the tower on it, and he says, "High One, hear my prayer. Reveal the mistrust within their hearts." Morocon and Lachlan, you two.
It was Gerard, the two underlings' turn first.
Yes, it is. You're right. Correct. I'm a liar. Thank you. What are they going to do? Oh, they don't like you, do they?
Me? I'm not the one bashing him in the head.
That's true. What are they going to do? Okay, Morocon, they're both flanking you, and they're both going to go for you. Because you physically assaulted him. Well, so I think
he physically assaulted them.
It's true. He really did. Let's see. What do they want to do to you? Now, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're both going to use Shield of the Gods. They shift back. Brother Gerard shifts back into square 14J. Brother Fayette shifts back into square 14L. So move them on your sheets. It is a blast 3. It will get Morocon and Lachlan. Morocon, what is your Shield of the Gods? What is your reflex? Ought to be good.
It's 18. It's decent.
All right. So 1 hit and 1 miss. Lachlan, what is your reflex?
19.
1 hit at a 21 and 17. He missed, but he's going to use his human power extra effort to hit you. So Lachlan, you get hit twice. Morocon, you get hit once. Shield of the Gods. They both hold up their shields and say, "Bestera, hear our prayer. Strike back and drive back these accusers." And Morocon, you take 11 points of force damage. And Lachlan is going to take more than 11 points of force damage. Oh, you're lucky. Lachlan, you take 5. You take 21 points of force damage. And both clerics get a +3 bonus to AC and reflex until the end of their next turn. I'm going to mark that up here. +3 AC and reflex. As a white glow from their shields settles over both of them. They are also both going to use Healing Word. Poor Brother Gerard is going to use Healing Word on his poor self. And he's going to heal up a little bit. Since he's pummeled. And Brother Fayette is going to use Healing Word on himself and come back up to full. And that is going to be their turn. They shifted. Okay. And their turn is over, which brings us to the end of the round. Brother Eric's turn. He is no longer dominated, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Brother Eric takes hold of that tower symbol, as I said previously, and he says, High One, hear my prayer. Reveal the mistrust in their deceitful hearts. Morocon, you and Lachlan are suddenly filled with horrid feelings towards one another. You're reasonably sure, Morocon, that this whole divine fellowship thing is nothing more than a plot against the Church of Hemina. And if you're like Lachlan, you're like, it's so clear to you all of a sudden that Lachlan is behind all of it. Lachlan, Morocon caused your mole. He was behind it the entire time. You're sure of it. In fact, if Morocon has his evil ways, you are going to get another mole, and this one will be somewhere much worse. And that fills your heart. Now, the net result is you can't stop thinking about each other and the threat you pose, and you take a -4 to attacks until the end of Brother Eric's next turn.
Jeez.
Which is pretty ugly. Okay, that is his minor action. He does not want to be stuck between the two of you, so he is going to shift back into square 17J.
That'll cause him to violate my mark.
Him shifting back or him hitting both of you?
Shifting.
Okay.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, he shifts. Remember, you can shift one square anywhere.
But he's going to take 8 radiant damage.
Okay. And how is he going to handle that 8 radiant damage? Yep, he's just going to handle it.
So he's shifted to, you said 17J?
17J, right next to you, Lachlan.
Okay.
All right, so a little flash of radiant light shocks him as he backs up. He's like, ow! And Lachlan, that irritates him. And he is going to use... Goodness gracious. Problem is, you're right next to him. Lachlan, he is going to use... Oh, you pissed him off. You've just... Look what... Oh, the things that you've done. He's going to provoke an attack of opportunity from you, Lachlan, and he's going to cast Awaken Pride. You're familiar with that power, right?
It'd be hard to do.
Go ahead, Lachlan. Make an attack of opportunity on him.
All right. 15 plus 13 minus 4. So 15 plus 9, 24.
Okay, 24 is going to be a hit.
So this plus 6. So 11 points of radiant damage.
Okay. And he is going to take all of that, unfortunately. All right, 11 points of radiant damage. And now he will be attacking you. What's your will, Lachlan?
Will is 21.
Well, that's a 28. I don't suppose there's anything you can do. Lachlan, you are going to take one die. You take 14 points of psychic damage, Lachlan, from his spell. And you must spend your standard action berating everyone around you except for him. Save ends. If you fail, Lachlan, your first save, then you will have to spend the following round trying to make an unarmed attack against an ally as you berate them. His version of Awaken Pride seems more powerful than the last version of the spell you encountered. And that is his move, his minor, and there you go. All right, Lachlan, it's your turn. So what do you say on your berating turn, and to whom?
First, Morocon.
What?
Dummy walked right between two opponents and got yourself clubbed like some kind of fool. And Duriel, what are you just standing there waiting for an invitation to join the fight?
It'd be nice.
Music. You couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. Your magic is pathetic.
Oh.
And these two priests, I tried to make you attack and you couldn't even hit your friend.
Okay. Now, Lachlan, you must move next to some ally and make an attack. You take your pick.
I thought that was if I failed my save.
No, that is if you fail your save. Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
That escalated quickly. Oh,
Yeah. So I still have a move and a minor, correct?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'm going to use Divine Metal on myself to save against this with a bonus equal to my charisma. So that would be a 15 save. Get rid of that crap.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend my move action apologizing to everybody, saying, "This fiend is messing with my mind. I really love you all."
Oh,
Duriel's like, no, I thought he was spot on. I thought
that's not.
that was all pretty fair.
And then I hate him just as much as he hates me, so I'm going to use an action point,
Oh, wow.
and I'm going to be like, "You call on the High One. Well, Sindel, shatter his heart on the altar of your scorn," and I'm going to attack him.
Poor brother Eric's. Okay.
Poor brother Eric's. 27.
That'll do.
So
Okay. And what does it do?
he is pulled, well, he's already next to me, knocked prone, gains vulnerability 5 all, and he must spend his standard action professing his love and confessing his sins to me.
All righty. Very good. Okay, that's Lachlan's turn. Moral Con, it is your turn, my friend.
All
You
right.
get a -4 to your attacks, unfortunately.
I'm
And
still
that's a-
and I'm still under the influence, right? I really hate Lachlan right now still.
you do, but it doesn't control your actions. It's just you can't stop suspecting that he means you ill will, and it interferes with your concentration. However, you're also in his aura of blasphemy, even on the floor, which means if you use a cleric attack, you're going to take a -6 to attack.
Okay.
How big is his aura?
It's 2 squares.
2 squares. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to shift over 1 square and get to 16J, so I'm back within melee range
Okay.
with Mr. Erics, and I'm pretty upset with. I'm apparently pretty upset with both Lachlan and Eric's here. So
Yeah, you move next to Brother Eric's, but you can't stop looking at Lachlan. Like at any minute, he could tear your holy symbol right off your chest.
oh, okay.
Didn't the other guy just shift back to 16J?
No, he shifted back to
17J.
17J. And Lachlan is to the right of him in 17K.
The Bestaran clerics are in 14 J and L.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm still pretty upset, so So I will run up to him and just stop talking, stop hissing, as
Okay.
and just like I'm gonna 5 storms this guy.
Okay.
The whole like the Hulk thing, like with the Hulk Buster, like go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Okay. Okay.
And that's -4, right?
Yes, unfortunately, that's a -4.
Okay.
You have
well,
combat advantage, so +2.
Okay.
So you have a -2 to whatever your total is, -2.
Okay, so that's so a 15 versus reflex.
That is not going to be good enough, unfortunately.
Dang it. Okay.
Lo siento. You still have a minor action.
I am going to healing word myself.
That is a good move.
And
good idea.
And I'm going to use the Amulet of Life. Can I use that with my healing word? We went through this last episode. I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah, it's a free action. So instead of using the 1 surge, you get to use 2 and roll 1d6.
Alrighty. Let's do this. All right. Okay. And I am nice and healthy.
Okay,
Actually-
feeling better.
Actually,
Moral
I
Con, feeling
was bloodied. I got a +1 to attack, so that actually would have been an 18 versus reflex. Does that hit?
good? Nope.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, never mind.
They're soldiers. Soldiers in 4E have pretty high defenses. Okay, that is, unless you're using an action point, that is your turn, Moral Con.
Nope, I am done.
And Uriel, it's your turn.
All right. Well, seeing as how he's got an invitation now, the last time he was the first person to take some overt action in a tavern. It didn't end well, so he was just sort of holding back so the townspeople wouldn't think he was responsible. But
Let the dragon draw their ire. Great.
it's sort of hit the fan, so it's go time. So anyways, he's gonna go over. He's gonna go to Brother Erickson, Ulrich,
Eric's brother Eric's, yeah.
and attack with Weapon of Divine Protection.
Okay, you are going to take a -2 to that attack.
Oh yes, because it is a divine. It is of a divine nature.
Yes, you are in his aura of blasphemy. However, if you roll a 40, it won't matter.
I'm feeling lucky. Actually, no. I didn't want to do this because it freaks people out a little bit, but taste of life. I'm going to do a vampire attack.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
What do you mean, oh boy, I'm attacking the guy who's getting you?
I
Okay.
understand that.
Just bite
Okay,
him.
so-
Yeah, just
Here we go.
The meta game in me is saying,
Yeah, well, you travel with a vampire, you get the fangs. 15. It's versus fortitude, and it's 21.
-2.
No minus.
No, because it's a vampire attack.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Rock on. Yeah, you have combat advantage because he's prone. All right, that is definitely a hit, my friend.
Okay, and I'm gonna trigger Blood Drinker with that, so I'll get an extra 1d10 of damage.
And he's vulnerable 5.
Wow, all the neat things that are happening with that. 7.
Yeah.
16 points of damage.
Okay.
Plus I gain some temporary hit points.
And you gain you gain a surge.
2 plus charisma modifier temporary hit points.
Oh, for
Taste of
divine
Life.
perfection, yeah.
For
Okay.
Taste of Life. For Blood Drinker, I gain a surge, yeah.
All right, so you grab him and immediately start draining. Where do you grab him from?
Probably I probably just come up behind him, and again, the thing is just move the head and try to just bite into his neck.
Okay.
We're
So
going
you-
full vampire.
You grab his head and you bite him and bite into him, and he screams like, ah, like, and people are kind of just generally freaking out at this point. There are a few people watching. You hear some gasps from the side of the street, but the rest of you see Andriel bites him, and several people at that point turn and run away. Normally there's a crowd, fight. He bites him and fangs emerge and blood, and people are like, oh, this got way too real. And there's scattering. Okay. And that is a painful hit. Anything you want to do with your minor action, Andriel?
No, maybe just contemplate people's fear of fangs when people hitting each other with maces was no big deal.
Yeah, I know. You guys are fangists. Okay.
What square are you in, Enduriel?
I am now in
K16?
17I.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Oh, you came all the way around him.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Gizik, it is your turn, my friend.
Sounds like a good time for a little bomb.
You gonna try to bewitch him first?
Yeah, that would help.
A bong?
No, Lachlan. I'm not Lachlan.
That's great. It's time for a bong. This thing's getting way too serious, man. Everybody lighten
You
up.
need to
Lighten up.
chill, bro.
Gizik's gonna toke a bowl. Let's do this.
I don't know what that even means.
It's so nice. You're as pure as the driven snow that someone has cheated. Yeah. Yellow snow, but yeah.
All right, I want to try and bewitch Brother Eric's again with a 19.
Okay. That is a miss, unfortunately. He is a will of 20. Desafortunadamente. Lo siento. Okay. Got a move and a standard.
I don't need to move, but for my standard, I think it's time for Waves of Ecstasy again.
Yeah.
Your favorite new spell to use on Vestera's followers. All right, my friend. What is it? A blast? How does it work?
It's not dirty. They just feel really good. Painfully good. Yes, it's a blast 5, so I think it should hit everybody.
Is it enemies only, or is it everybody?
It's enemies.
Okay, well that will hit everybody. All right,
goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Go for it, my friend.
Okay, so versus Will.
Brother Eric's is a 20.
23 against Eric's.
Hit. And the clerics of Bestera, Fayette and Gerard are 18, Will.
All right, so against Gerard, that's a 15, which should miss, and then Fayette is a 25.
All right, so you got Fayette and you got Eric's. Brother Fayette, poor Brother Fayette, he just healed himself. He was up to full again.
Feeling good.
Well, now he's at
Now he's feeling
minus 8 psychic damage, and he is prone and cannot stand up, save ends.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Grabbing his nethers.
Oh,
Right.
and the one I missed, is half that damage and prone,
All right.
but he
Half
can
that
stand
damage.
up. So that's 4
You said-
damage.
8 psychic damage, so 4 to him, and he can't stand up.
Right. Oh, he can stand up. The other 2 need to save first.
He can't stand up, but he needs a cold shower. I get it. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
No.
You cast Waves of Ecstasy, right? Or
Yeah, whatever. You're the one who wrote the power.
actually that was Ryan that wrote that power. Thank you very much. So I will take that and go boom.
Yeah, that kind of fits Lachlan.
Yeah, you know what they say? It's always the quiet ones. I'm just saying.
Brother Eric's takes extra 5 damage because he's vulnerable.
Thank you very much for reminding me of that. So that's actually, that's so mean.
And a brief plug right now. If you would like to also make your enemies writhe in the sweet agony of Waves of Ecstasy, you can purchase the Worlds of the Witch.
That's right.
And 5th edition.
That's true. Yes, you can. Okay, now this is quite the sight because Gizik, you fling out this spell, and he's already writhing on the floor, begging for Lachlan's forgiveness and declaring his love, and now he's moaning in pleasure. Oh, this is a perverted show. Okay, moving on. And the other one is just standing. Oh, this is an interesting episode. Okay.
Again, and people are freaking out about the fangs. All this is going on.
Right. Oh, Poinkuth will have a heyday with this.
I can't stop laughing. It's a heck of a street performance. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, well, we just turned our PG-13 rating. Okay, so the people were screaming in the streets, and now there are mothers like holding their hands over children's faces, like, oh. I love this game. Okay, moving on.
Well, ecstasy doesn't have to be sexual,
Okay.
you know.
Well, if you want to suggest a different one, you go right on ahead. But you're the one who picked the power, dude. Okay, that would be Gizik's turn, and wasn't it effective? And now it's the cleric's turn. poor brother Fayette is he is on the floor. He's prone.
Yeah, they're all prone.
They're all prone. Okay, wow, all of them on the floor.
But Gerard can stand up, right?
Okay.
No, not till the end of Gizik's next turn. That's
No,
right.
no, he can stand up. It's the other two that I hit need to save before they can stand.
Okay, brother Gerard is going to use his second healing word to come up quite a few hit points, and it feels great. That healing word. He moans in pleasure from the healing word, and he is going to. Let's see, what will they do from the floor? Terrible, terrible Gizik. All right, he is going to cast Spiritual Weapon, and he is going to use it to attack Gizik, because that's just awful. So a huge shield of Bestera appears in the square between Brother Gerard and Gizik in square 13J, and will make an attack. And it's not a good attack, unfortunately. It's only a 14 versus AC. Gizik, that doesn't hit, does it? You are silenced, my friend.
Sorry, that would not hit.
Okay, so swing and a miss. So there's this huge, bright, silvery, glowing shield, and that is what happens to you. The other one, Brother Gerard, or excuse me, Brother Fayette, he is dazed, right?
No. Prone.
No, he's prone.
Can't stand.
Okay, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to conjure a shield, but who does he want to go for? Yeah, he's going for you. Your spell has him on the floor. So he conjures up another shield behind Gizik in square 11J. So Gizik is now dodging these two flying shields, and that is a 22 versus AC. Does that hit your AC, Gizik?
He has a penalty because he's prone.
Still, that would hit.
No, he doesn't. He's not attacking from a prone position. This is a construct that's attacking on its own. Go ahead and look it up. That's 10 points of what kind of damage does it say? 10 points of just weapon damage, Gizik, as you get slammed in the back with his shield. Gizik now has these two flying shields floating around him and swinging, and he ducks under one of them, but when he ducks, he gets slammed in the back with the other one. And that would bring us to the end of their turn. They have both used healing word twice. I'm just marking that. And now we are to the end of the round, and we are about 18 minutes over. I lied. I said we were going to finish on time tonight, but then you made me laugh. We will finish up tonight. Thank you for joining us. We apologize if your children were watching, but only a little bit. And now we will finish up with Consider This, who JT has Consider This tonight.
Yeah, just a real simple. I love Walt Disney. I think he's an inspiring, human being. I really appreciate all that he's done, that he did. And I was reading through some of his quotes the other day, and one of them kind of hit me, and it was basically just a basic quote. It says, "There's more treasure in books than in all the pirates' loot on Treasure Island." And the reason that inspired or kind of struck a chord with me is because I love books, and I think sometimes with the proliferation of technology, that it's really easy to get entertainment through other means, and that's fine. I'm not bashing, watch your YouTube videos, go on Reddit and get your gift game on and everything like that. But I think I would say consider picking up a book and taking the journey that only comes when you get into a really good book and you can start to use your imagination to make these worlds that an author or a writer has put together, and it kind of becomes more real for you. And that's why I like that quote. There's more treasure in books than in all the pirates' loot on Treasure Island. So just consider picking up a book.
Anything anybody would like to add to that?
Take a look. It's in a book.
You don't have to take my word for it.
No.
I can see anything.
Okay. All right. If you like fantasy, if you're watching this, obviously I am sitting in front of my library. I chose this for a reason. I adore books. Absolutely adore them. I feel like they not only have the power to lift us higher, but they also have the power to take us anywhere we want to go, at least for a brief time. And maybe we should, I don't know, maybe we should recommend a book that we love. Maybe that would be a fun thing to do for next time, is recommend a book that we loved reading. So maybe we'll do that. But until then, we will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.